104.5 The Team, your home for New York sports. And now we've had Mr. George Sedano on quite a few times, but for the first time he's joined by one of his co-hosts from the morning show in L.A., 7:10 a.m., LZ Granderson. Guys, you guys look like you're just having more fun than everybody else right now.
Well, you know how to do this, I think, at this point.
And I'm still high from last night.
There's that. It's legal in California.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, we had the media party yesterday. You notice I've got like, these are my last 2 empty cups of coffee, and you guys are just running wild on.
Well, I actually didn't get in until about 12:30 last night, so I missed the media party, and I went immediately to the hotel and went to bed.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just look like I'm exciting.
I'm an old man. I'm not doing any of that stuff anymore.
You didn't do the media party?
Nah.
What?
Was there Top Shelf?
It was. They did.
I
a
would
really
have
nice
rolled
job.
in for Top Shelf.
They had everything was broken. It was in a museum. And so you go through the museum, and it's like there's like Asian food here, Mexican food here, Italian food.
Maybe I should have gone.
But
See?
you couldn't go 3 feet without walking into a bar. It was, and I
Nice.
hit every one of them. I didn't want to show favorites.
We were getting a little obnoxious on the car ride back, though. I think it was us. Like, we were yelling at Kalishaw and everybody else in the back. Like, who's better, Reale or Kellerman? Just let us know.
Max is LZ's guy. LZ is on Sports Nation, so he used to do Sports Nation with LZ.
That's my dude. And I used to do Around the Horn, so
Max is
I'm going with. No, I'm not saying.
Reale's good at this. I think Max is Max is an opinionist. It's a little different.
He's a little more confrontational.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you guys are here. It's Super Bowl 51. Let's do what everybody does. What's going to happen in this game, guys? Who's going to win?
I mean,
They're going to play the footballs.
They are
football?
gonna play.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. That's my professional opinion.
Offense versus defense will happen.
Okay.
There will
all
be
right.
some
I like
special
it.
teams where their balls will be kicked.
Oh, that could be painful.
And Lady Gaga
We'll perform at
will
halftime.
perform at halftime.
Now,
on the heels of the last time.
they were in Houston. We had Boobygate. I was
Right.
here.
You were here for
I
that?
I was
was
here.
here.
Yeah.
Was it booby or nipple?
Whatever, nipple, booby, whatever.
It was bedazzled. I know that.
It was bedazzled.
Yeah,
I
right.
was here and did not know it happened because, I was seated up in the rafters practically.
You couldn't see it? The bedazzling from there?
No.
Glistening in the
So
light?
I
You were
found
looking
out
at Timberlake. weren't
after
you?
the for sure. After
He was
the,
hot back then.
He was.
After the performance, I found out. I went to get something to drink, and then everyone's like, "Oh my god!" I was like, whatever.
Right.
And it became obviously the biggest story ever, right? To
Yeah.
come out of a
Changed
Super
our
Bowl.
careers. Like we
Oh,
have
no
so many
doubt.
things we can't do now because of that.
Thanks, Janet and Justin.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tearaway Clothing.
I think the worst thing that came from that is all the old people that followed. Instead of going, hey, what's the Who doing? Let's
No,
get to
the next year, I'll never forget this. The next year, I actually had great seats. I was seated at the end of one row, and Ice Cube was there next to me with
Nice.
O'Shea.
Nice.
And Paul McCartney came on.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, are we for real with this?
And he was thug lifing it up.
Yeah. Playing the piano.
Hey, Jude, I'm talking to you, Jude.
Yeah, it was
Jude.
like, for real? Like this
I was
is,
like,
and then
oh
they
my
did.
God.
They did do the Who after that.
Yes.
And they did Rolling Stones, though, I still like.
No, I'm sorry, because I was at that when I was in Detroit. I think I'm pretty sure I was in Detroit, and I'm watching like this skinny, scrawny man run from side to side.
Yo,
singing
the fact
songs.
he can still run is pretty impressive.
I'm like, how you gonna roll up to Detroit, home of Motown,
Yeah, that's true.
That's
and
true.
then tell
That is
me
true.
you're gonna give me some Mick Jagger?
Yeah.
That was just offensive.
That was, it's a bad job.
So
but
at least now, I think Lady Gaga is. I think they missed the Gaga window. I think her window has closed in terms of.
ooh. Wow.
It's not me. It's the charts. The charts are saying that
Well,
the
she hasn't
window,
put out anything new recently, has she?
except for an album last year.
She did?
She's an actress
see,
now.
That's what I'm talking about.
She's an actress now. She does that American Horror Story show.
Really? That's what you're gonna do? Is she gonna do some scenes from that?
I don't know.
That would be fun.
Well, they
Would be
said
performance art.
she might be on the roof.
She might be
they
on the
said.
roof talking
Yeah.
about that. Like,
Yeah.
if you're up on the roof, people are going to
I'm
remember
like,
that.
listen, you need to look and go. This hippity hop thing that's out there, it is still the top selling form of music, genre of music, and has been so for the last 50, 20 years. We've done a really good job of ignoring it. Perhaps we should stop doing that now. And no, we're not going to have Missy Elliott drop in and do 2 songs and then leave real quick before people realize that hip hop is playing.
Right.
To me, it's offensive to know that this is a top form of music. You can't go to a single Super Bowl party and not hear hip hop.
They had Beyonce,
But
and then they got mad at her.
really, she's pop. She's pop in R&B.
Which is from Houston. Give her a little Houston love.
She should have done this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Who do you want, Kanye?
I mean, if he's right in the head.
Kanye's terrible in concert, though. I mean,
Right.
just awful. Like, he's literally just, kind of doing, open mic night poetry. Like, that's what it feels like.
Well, Lady Gaga might do that. I saw her
She might,
once.
too.
She was at Lollapalooza, and she gave like a 5-minute soliloquy between songs.
Could you imagine just Kanye goes full Rogan and just does Def Jam poetry on the Super Bowl stage?
I can totally see that.
Or
That's
better
why
yet, he decides, I'm doing one song. I'm out. More commercials. Done.
George Sedano, LZ Granderson with us. Your show's got to be awesome. I'm just sitting here listening to YouTube right now. This is great. I love it.
And we have Joe Johnson on the show with us.
We do have Joe Johnson on the show with
That's
us.
Keyshawn's real name.
Is it really?
Whoa,
Yes.
whoa. Keyshawn Johnson's real name's Joe?
You didn't watch the Megacast with Bill Walton where he was calling him Joe the whole time during the national championship game?
No,
I've watched so much Pac-12 basketball this year. It's unhealthy on the East Coast because of Bill.
Oh, he's the best.
He's unbelievable.
Pac-12 After Dark is like, look, like, you remember, like, I mean, you guys may be too young for this, but like, when I was a kid, like a little kid, I remember David Letterman was like the craziest thing anyone had ever
Right.
done late night. So and then Conan O'Brien became that guy years later. Like, young people just gravitated to it because it was weird and different. And if you watch the ratings of Pac-12 After Dark, it's actually really strong, and I think it's the weirdness factor of Bill Walton. No question.
Poor Dave Pash has to sit there and get popcorn dumped on his head. He's got to get
Dave
dirt rubbed
Pash
on his face.
is a saint. Like, he is a saint just to deal with any
I
of that
thought
stuff.
people were just huge Oregon fans out east. You don't think
No.
that's
No, well, I mean, we do like the jerseys and all that.
The
when
court
they're
is a
football,
little
yeah.
weird, though.
It's a little weird.
It
I
is.
couldn't shoot there.
Yeah.
I couldn't shoot anywhere. That's for being honest. So, all right. So the football happened. Lady Gaga at half.
Yeah. I think the Patriots will win, though,
you
to
think
answer
the
I
your
think
Patriots
the
win?
Falcons will win.
Yeah.
I think the
Okay.
Falcons will win for two reasons.
All right.
One, I think when you look at the point differential of these Super Bowl victories that the Patriots have had, it's less than 4 points a game. I think that could be problematic with a team that isn't solely dependent upon one or two playmakers, but Falcons are loaded with the playmaking side. But on the other side of the ball, I think we're not giving their defense enough credit. The type of ball pressure they put on Aaron Rodgers throughout that game, yeah, he got 3 touchdowns, but come on, that was not a typical Aaron Rodgers game. Certainly not the way he was playing coming in. That defense bothered him. I think that defense is going to bother Brady. And at 39, 40 years old, we know what happens when that pocket starts to collapse around Brady. He gets a little happy feet. He starts throwing the ball away. I think the Falcons going to be able to pull it out.
Here's the deal. This is why I think the Patriots will win. First of all, if you look historically, right, number one defense versus number one offense, which is what you have here, it generally goes the defense's way.
Right.
Number two, Bill Belichick, one of his greatest strengths of many, is that he generally does a really good job of minimizing the team's best offensive player. In this case, it's Julio Jones. So I think they're going to find a way to force the ball into Mohamed Sanu's hands or Taylor Gabriel's hands or even, Devontae Freeman or Tevin Coleman, which is all that is much better than having to deal with Julio Jones.
See, I disagree with Julio Jones being the best offensive player. I think the best offensive player is actually Matt Ryan. And it's going to be hard to limit Matt Ryan because he has so many outlets. And he's the MVP candidate for a reason.
I don't think that's the case because even though he's put up great numbers, he hasn't put up these kind of numbers until Julio Jones has now grown into this role of clearly being the best receiver in the game.
You can't leave, George, without saying something about the New York Knicks, by the way. That's
Oh,
like
they
your thing
stink.
here in all
Yeah.
very good.
They're
Just
so
put that on a
terrible.
loop, right?
He's been waiting. He's been waiting for this.
so terrible.
Like, he woke up this morning and went, I can't wait for Sedano to
I mean,
just
Phil
kick the Knicks
Jackson,
out.
this
Oh,
dude,
God.
I mean, how in over his head is he at this point? Like, I've been telling you guys this for 2 or 3 years now.
Right.
Like, he has no clue what the hell he's doing.
I love the fact that he's mad at Carmelo for not wanting to waive his no-trade clause while negating the fact that he's the dude that gave him
Yes.
the no-trade clause.
Right. And then it goes after him through the media instead
Right.
of just calling him down to his office and saying, hey, can
Can we work
trade
this
you?
out, bro?
Well,
Right,
and
right.
the funny part is that a couple of months ago when the stuff first started to happen, he said, yeah, Carmelo's different. With Kobe and Shaq, I just, I didn't have to talk to them all that much. With Carmelo, I got to have dinner with him. And I'm like, dude, you're basically calling him soft.
Right.
Like, that's
Right.
not cool.
Right.
But, yeah, Phil, I just don't get it. I don't
He
understand
has
his
the accomplishments of the greatest coach of all time. I will not question that whatsoever.
But GMing is different.
Right.
GMing is totally different. Just like a lot of players can't coach, a lot of coaches can't GM.
Well, and here's the other part is I remember doing this interview with him. He just got the job, right? And I was filling in for Greeny on Mike and Mike with Golick. And I asked him that. I said, dude, you're the greatest coach of all time, but what do you think what makes you think you can do this job as great? Because it's a completely different skill set. And he got pissed off. But he hemmed and hawed and basically gave me this BS answer about basically through osmosis, he's going to end up being this great GM because he played for Red Holtzman and, he was with Jerry West. And I'm thinking to myself, you kind of hated Jerry West.
And basically, how dare you question me? I'm Phil Jackson.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
I'm Phil Jackson, the greatest coach who started with Michael Jordan.
Right. Like, people don't realize that, like Pat Riley, for example, Pat failed for at least it was like 10, 11 years as the GM of the Miami Heat. Like he
Failed?
knocked on the door a couple of
I was
times.
gonna say Phil's
No,
aggressive.
but look, only
Isaiah
because
Thomas kind of failed.
well, by Pat's measurements, he failed because he only believes in winning and misery.
Oh, yeah.
His words.
Yeah.
Okay, so he failed. I mean, there's the famous story of them losing to the Knicks one of those 3 or 4 times, which I'm sure you loved, where he was broken on his desk, and Alonzo Mourning came in, grabbed him by the shirt, and said, "Do your damn job and go talk to the team."
Who told you that story? Alonzo Mourning?
Both of them.
It's like a reenactment.
Both of them did. And
Who plays Alonzo in the movie?
That's a good
Is it Ryan Gosling again? I keep trying to put Ryan
He
Gosling.
puts Ryan Gosling. He told Ryan Leaf that Ryan Gosling should play. Ryan Gosling was like the backup in Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
They just hired
Got
short
benched.
actresses. It'll be fine.
He got benched.
Ryan Gosling as Pat Riley and Alonzo
But
Mourning.
Pat,
It's a one-man show coming to Broadway.
Pat failed forever. So what did Phil? I don't understand how Phil thought he'd just roll in and this would be easy for him. Like, it's just silly.
That's he thinks everything's easy. He's Phil.
He's Phil.
Look at his 11 rings. Just go to Twitter.
He's like, look, I'm going to hand this book over to you, and I'm going to make sure I have 2 of the best players in the league, and I'm going to be the greatest.
And then I'm going to go to my ranch and smoke peyote.
Yeah.
And you fix everything. I'll be back.
Don't knock smoking peyote, man.
Especially right now, because if you like this show, there's a reason why.
You guys are great. George Sedano, LZ Granderson, man, we appreciate you. Thanks for making us laugh. And give me a show to listen to today instead of doing it. I didn't even have to interview you guys. I just sat back and waited, guys.
Did we
It
get
was
a
great.
check?
Yeah.
We need every
over-
check we can get.
Yeah. Quick, run!
All right, guys.